The ANC Women's League is not happy with South Africa only having 2 female premiers. The league wants President Cyril Ramaphosa to appoint more women in the executive. SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko joins us now with an update. Samkele, what's the latest on your side?
Anastasia, indeed, South Africa has 2 female premiers, just like in the previous administration, where you had Sisi Ntombela in the Free State Province. You had 3 premiers, in fact. Sisi Ntombela, you had also the premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Nomusa Dube Ncube, and you also had Refilwe Mtsweni in the province of Mpumalanga. This time around, you only have 2 female premiers. That would be Popi Ramathupa, Dr. Popi Ramathupa in Limpopo, and also the Women's League Treasurer General McQueen, who is also the premier of the Free State Province, the ANC Women's League. One wonders if they are happy about the outcomes of the ANC's interview processes after Refilwe Mtsweni fell out against Mandla Ndlovu for the premiership of Mpumalanga. She ultimately was chosen as the chairperson of the National Council of Provinces. The Women's League SG, are you happy with the ANC processes? Only 2 female premiers?
Good afternoon, Samkele, and greetings also to your listeners. It is a setback, I must say it up front. It's a setback. Women's League, we are indeed disappointed, and I would assume that even women across the country, they also feel the same. We are disappointed because we, at this year, celebrating 30 years of democracy. And we are saying it's a setback because already previously, from the previous administration in the provinces, we already had 2 premiers. And one would hope and wish that the ANC, according to its principles, guided by the core values of our organization, would have improved in that area, and instead of having 2 and having 3 and more where possible. But again, Samkele, because there are internal processes that we need to follow as the League of the ANC, we still have to engage on the matter. The ANC is aware of our disappointment that indeed expressed through the SG, but we're hoping that as an opportunity afforded, we will take the matter further up with the officials of the ANC around the matter of the 2 premiers. It's not only Samkele, the 7 provinces that are led by the ANC in terms of the premiership, but there's also 2 provinces, to make it 9, that are led under the leadership with elements of the GNU, which is the Gauteng and also the KZN. Even there, we took a knock as women of this country of having only 2 in total of 9 provinces, only 2 women. But the worst disappointment is out of 7 that are led by the ANC in terms of the premiership, also having that 2, with respect of the fact that a number of women crisscrossed ourselves, the country, 9 provinces. And if you look at the campaigns that took place at a branch level, from the community level, women were in numbers. Where you had 20 comrades that are doing the door-to-door, you will find 3 to 5, the maximum, of male comrades that were part of that. Whilst we respect the issue of non-sexist in the organization, but as Women's League, we bias towards the interests and championing that of women, and we don't take it light, the setback of that kind of a results out of the process, that they've worked hard, but then they did not get what was expected. Out of 9 provinces, only 2, undermining also the principle of the ANC that talks about the 50-50 and more when it comes to women representatives.
But what are you doing to rectify that with the composition of the National Executive this weekend?
Firstly, we appreciate, Samkele, that the ANC, in a way, tried to assist under very difficult circumstances because they are no longer leading alone as the ANC because of the 40% that we have received as an GNU arrangement. And at least, as you have said earlier on, that in the province, at National Assembly, we have the Speaker and also the Deputy Speaker. Both are women. We appreciate the chairperson of the NCOP. However, in the process towards the appointment of the cabinet, which will be led by Comrade Ramaphosa, we're expecting an improvement, and we want to believe that the ANC has realized the mistake that has been committed, which maybe it was not deliberate, understand the pressure that they have to work under, but it can be also used that as an excuse not to improve. So we're expecting to see more women, not only in the ANC, but also influencing that approach of the GNU, which is now being used in governing the country, that those that have partnered with the ANC can also take pride in ensuring that women are being represented in numbers. And we are very clear, Samkele, that being represented in numbers, it can't be only deputy ministers. We expect them to be afforded an opportunity to hold those key strategic positions as being the ministers, and there's nothing wrong to be deputized by our male counterparts because we work together with them. But that's the expectation moving forward. We were failed in provinces with the premier process, but we are hoping to see a different when it comes to the composition of the ESCO in the provinces, that there's a principle, at least in the ANC, of 60 and 40%. 60 should be women, 40 male, where a premier is a male comrade. So we are expecting to see that at least correcting what has happened with the position of the premiers, at least the 60%, it should be a must in those provinces that indeed we accommodate our women and to be a majority in the ESCO.
Have you been engaged by President Ramaphosa on which women you would like to be invited into the cabinet?
We are waiting to meet with the president. It becomes a norm in the ANC and kind of a tradition, if I may put it that way, that all the leagues, they do get an opportunity being convened by the president individually, so where possible, and be consulted in terms of the interest and what we would wish to see at the end of the day through the composition of the cabinet.
So in essence, you are saying that you will be meeting the president as planned to engage on which women are invited to be members of the executive.
Yes, we that will take place, Samkele. But as it is going to take place, there's also the GNU. We don't want to leave that unattended because the president is not now going to lead alone. There is a partnership that has been arranged, and we're calling upon the conscience of that partnership, those that are leading in the partnership, to take care of women. And as they also submit, if they are required to make their own submission, we also negotiating through this platform that they must consider the importance the important role rather of women in the cabinet, at least under this administration, the 7th administration, which will be led in a form of unity with quite a number of political parties.
Will you be extending an invite of discussions with the DA's Women's League Dawn?
Yes, where an opportunity is afforded, we are not shy to do that. We are open. Remember, Samkele, we are not, as Women's League, leading only the women's that are within our own structures, the Women's League and the ANC. Our responsibility, it goes beyond South Africa and to the continent and the globe where that opportunity is afforded. We reflect in many of our statements where we talk about appreciating the inroads made, for instance, of the recent appointment of the President of COSATU. We appreciate that because we believe that as women of this country, we do have capacity. We are able and to perform beyond the boundaries of this country and within the continent. So we represent women of this country entirely. So indeed, if those organizations, political parties, they do find interest to engage with us, we will make that request and we'll take it from there. But understanding that we're not leading the process of the GNU, we have given that responsibilities as the leagues of the ANC to the ANC and the team that was established, which we have endorsed and supported in the NEC of the ANC.
Thank you very much. That is the ANC Women's League SG, basically saying that they will be looking closely and monitoring how President Cyril Ramaphosa will make composition of the national executive within the country, saying also in provinces where the ANC is yet to announce their excos, where the premiers are male, like the province of Northwest and Gauteng, there should be 60% representation of women and 40% males within those particular excos. So the headache that Panyaza Lesufi proof he has of juggling that particular escort. Of the 7 MECs the ANC will get, 60% of those 7 have to be female. You're looking at the likes of Nomantu, Tasneem, Kidibone Tiale, who's also the MEC of transport within the province, Mbali Ihlope as well.